Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new here. My name's Leah and today I've got a very exciting video. So I'm going to be doing a book vlog, and this book vlog is actually part of a book tour. So on this book vlog I am going to read and review this book here. So this is We Rip the World Apart by Charlene Carr. I first heard about this book through either Jen Campbell or Mercy's Bookish Musings on YouTube as one of the books they were excited for 2024. I just didn't know what was coming out, and they are people that I do trust in terms of what their reading tastes, and similar to mine, maybe a little bit different, but to the point where I think that I would enjoy what they recommend. Anyway, they picked this book out, so I apologise if it isn't one of you, but I feel like it is, and I thought this looked amazing. So essentially this says 3 women, 3 secrets, 1 family torn apart. So I'm very excited to read this and bring you sort of my thoughts. I'm going to read 100 pages, then I'm going to come back to you, tell you what my thoughts are. So 100 pages. Oh, let's just see, is it a chapter finish? Could we get into a chapter? Yes, it is. Exactly. So there is a chapter, 100 pages is there. So I want to read that and then come back and let you know what I think of the first 100 pages. And there are, how many pages are there? Oh, there's 378 pages, so it's quite a big one. But yeah, I'm going to tell you every 100 pages also my thoughts on the book. I just thought this sounded so good. I won't read the blurb. I might tell you what it is at the end, because if you are excited about it, I don't want to kind of give you insight into what this is, but I will give you my thoughts on what it is. So I'm excited, very excited about this book. Okay, so I'm at page 100. I'm just about to enter a new chapter. It's the next day. I think I will definitely get this read quickly because this is such a good book so far. I've already cried. Let me just say that. I've already cried. So, the characters, as we know, there are 3 women. And from the back, we also know that it's 3 women in one family, a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter. I love that it's centralised around women. That is something that really interests me. I like female characters being the main protagonist in books. We have multiple chapters. They're from the perspective of each woman, and they are different timelines as well. So if different timelines aren't for you, then this book won't be for you, because you are crossing lots of different timelines in here. Although it's all part of the same generation, so it doesn't seem too difficult. If you've read Open Water by Caleb Mazuma Nelson, it's that sort of similar timeline shift. Anyway, we have the daughter, who I kind of understand in some ways. She's quite young. We have the mother, who I have a lot more understanding of, and then we have the grandmother, who we've only met once in this first 100 pages, and I know I'm going to love already. I feel like the grandma is going to make me cry. That's definitely going to make me cry. So we have this the underlying storyline is all around Black Lives Matters. Black Lives Matters. Yeah, I thought I said it wrong. And, you know, the protests and the rallies and around the globe, basically, and everything that happened and everything that is still happening, and the systemic racism that is intrinsic in the societies in which we live. I have a real interest. I'm very interested in the stories of people who are living through it. I myself am multi heritage, dual heritage actually. I'm half Egyptian, and I have never experienced racism myself, not in person, but I have experienced it in the sense that my surname is Egyptian, and people who haven't seen my face have made assumptions and have been very racist towards me. But also I experienced the other side of this, where they think they're in a safe space because I'm white, so I understand my privilege because of that. And I've heard people say horrendous things, and they don't realise that I'm dual heritage. So it's an interesting place to stand. So I'm actively anti-racist. I just want to, I feel like that's really important, because this is a really important book that it highlights that there's almost like a weird grey area where if you are mixed heritage and you've got a white parent and a black parent, you do sometimes wonder where you sort of fit in. And I really am enjoying that aspect of it, just understanding each of the characters in that way. I'm not going to give anything away. We do find out very early on why this family is fearful of things. We do find out very early on, but we're going through that story in these timelines, because we're going to get to that point as well. But we do know it's going to happen, because we're alluded to, well, straight away we know about it. Anyway, I've already cried. We've got to quite an important part in the book, this first 100 pages, and it made me cry, because I get it. I get that passion for feeling like, how can this happen? Why? How can we stop it? What can we do? That feeling of helplessness, and the only way to do anything is to start shouting. Like, nobody's listening from the inside. And I get it. I get that feeling. Like, I don't totally understand it from this perspective, but I do get it from a female perspective, from a Jewish perspective, from a dual heritage perspective. I understand how that can feel. That feeling that it doesn't matter how loud you shout, nothing's going to change. And it's so frustrating. The frustration comes through so well. The writing is, for me, spectacular. No word is not meant to be there. That's what's really good about it. It's easy. It's not a difficult read. It's nice and easy to consume. But I have to say I quite enjoy the writing style, because it gets you in the... You totally feel like you're there, and you can understand and you can feel that frustration. I think the plot has been interesting. We do, like I say, we know what was going to happen. There's lots of little like Easter eggs being dropped at the moment about things that are happening as well. So you know something's going to happen with a family member. You don't know quite what, but they've just dropped an Easter egg at this point, that in the first 100 pages, about how it might have happened. And I don't know, but already in my brain I'm going, what's happened? I think I know what's happened, but I don't want to know, because it's just so horrific. I do think this is going to get a bit more graphic, and I do think it's going to get a bit more hard-hitting as we get in. So I am very intrigued. I'm very excited. I'm flying through. That first 100 pages was so quick. I'm flying through the chapters. I want to know more. And yeah, my only gripe is the relationships in this. They would be so much more improved if they spoke to each other, right? I can't bear when people decide to hold things in, and that is the root of the problems. And I understand that this book would probably be half the size if they just spoke to each other, and maybe it wouldn't be such a dramatic story. But nobody talks to each other. They hold everything in, and they don't tell people stuff. And I'm like, just tell them, because what is it you don't trust about people? And maybe I'll find that out, why that's a reason why, you know, they're not telling them. But I'm loving this so far, and I can't wait for the next 100 pages, which I will read. And luckily it lands on another beginning of a chapter. Oh my God, they've done this so well. Let me just show you. So the first one was 100 landed on a chapter, 200 new chapter, bonus. So I will come back to you soon and let you know what I think. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh my God, I need to tell you. So I'm at page 200 and oh my gosh, I just can't get my head around it. I can't get my head around this book, like how raw it is. Like, I 100% understand grief. Like, that is something I have a real grasp on. And the way that Charlene Carr is describing the grief that is happening in these chapters is, oh, it's just insane. Like, she has really captured that feeling. So we've now got to the part that I said we were going to get to, which is where we now have the traumatic thing that's just happened, which we do know about. I'm still not going to spoil anything. It's just so horrible. And the thing that makes it so horrible is that you know that this isn't an isolated incident. Although this is a story, you know that this is definitely something that happens. And the injustice, something that you don't know about me, but I will explain. I hate injustice. Like, that's my biggest hate in life, is injustice. And the injustice so far is just, it's making me angry. It's making me cry. I think this book is incredible. I can't wait to get to the end. I've got about 175 pages to go and I'm going to finish that later, and I will report back with my full findings. But wow, just wow. I am sorry, but I am at page 256 and I'm still getting really angry that these people will not talk to each other. All of this could have been avoided if people just talk to each other. I would like for somebody to talk to somebody. If they don't talk to each other by the end of this book and make amends by the end of this book, I'll be fuming. I will be fuming. This book. I think I know what's going to happen. Oh, I'm obviously not going to give any spoilers, but I just keep crying. Oh dear. It's so good. It's so good. I have no words. This is a 5-star read that is so important. It's a really well told story. There's a very good part that is traumatic, but I hadn't quite guessed it, but there is a twist, and part of me was almost there. But it's so sad, but it's so real and raw and amazing. Like, everything about it. I am so happy that there seems to be a resolve, because I just don't think I could have coped if there wasn't one. A sort of resolve. It's not my favourite resolve, but it is a resolve and probably is a realistic one. So this is a 5-star read. I consumed this so quickly, a matter of hours. It was just fantastic, even though it's quite a long and big book. I highly recommend, if you're into intergenerational stories, multiple timelines, multiple characters points of view, and also women, stories about women and people of colour. I think this is such a wonderful book. I'm really touched by it. I'm still crying. Yeah, I just think this was great. This is great. I highly recommend it. I've got a feeling this is going to be my book of the month. It's just amazing. It's just so good. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to subscribe, please do. If you would like to buy the book, I will put the link down to the Amazon link down below. And yeah, I thumbs up, big thumbs up, 5 out of 5. Amazing.